Hello, YouTube family. So, today I'm basically want to touch on a few topics that I feel like are appropriate for Black culture and Black people. Whether you want to be referred to as Black, African descent, African American, whatever the case may be. This relates to all three of those groups. Okay. So I kind of want to start off with the deterioration of a nation. Okay. So I am American, so this topic I can kind of relate to. So when we had European explorers and they voyaged and they explored the Americas, what had happened was the indigenous people were basically ran out of their land. We have the Trail of Tears, genocide, and they basically were pushed and concealed into a smaller portion of land, and thus forth creating the Americas. So, what the European settlers did was they did not want to build America on their own backs. So they voyaged and they ended up picking up kings and queens from Africa and enslaving them, thus creating the Atlantic slave trade, the American slave trade. So these people were forced into slavery and they were forced to build America on their own backs. Now, they had a problem because they created the Americas, and unfortunately, you cannot ship people back to Africa. So what happened was they allowed other nationalities to basically join the Americas, and which created thus this big melting pot. So, in African culture, the Black woman was the head. Not so much the head, but she was looked at, and she was basically praised for being the pillar of the family, for creating life, and the Black man was provider support, etc., etc. I'm sorry. So, what happened was the Black family was then deteriorated. So you have baby mama drama, baby mama culture. You have drugs in our communities, crack, cocaine, things of that nature, opioids, that basically incarceration for selling drugs, for violence, black on black violence, and crime, thus breaking apart the Black family, which was so important. Then you have the destruction of Black communities, which basically stems off the same thing. You have self-hate through mass media, the beauty industry, with wigs, eyelashes, mass media being, whitewashed television, whitewashed culture. You have the music industry, which portrays self-hatred through degrading Black women, violence and whatnot. And it's sad to say that in Africa there's so much wealth, so many minerals, oil, etc., etc. African Americans don't really know their identity, So we were stolen from this land, and DNA testing is not real. So they take your DNA and they give you some bullshit, and they just keep that in the government. So you can never really know where you stem from exactly. So we have no identity, in my opinion. The way to get back on top would be wealth building tools. So investing, real estate, small businesses, supporting one another, rebuilding black families, marriage, you know, black on black, like marriage, families, no more baby mama drama. And, investing, knowledge was the biggest weapon that slaves can have. And even though we're not in shackles, we're still in modern day slavery. And being educated is the best way to get back on top. And that's what I got to say.